What's up, guys? It's the man behind the camera, Agent 31. Glad to have you guys here. I'm back, in the flesh, you know what I'm saying? And today I'm going to be giving you guys some tips on photography. This is really for the beginners out there. I've been doing photography myself for about 2 years. Well, I got out of military school 2019. I'd say about 2 years now. I've done all sorts of photography. I've done graduation, I've done auto, I've done lifestyle, sports. I even did a 70s party, which, those are fun. Now I'm kind of more into the filming stage of my career. As I move forward, I keep running into other photographers and camera people, and they all are asking me for advice. And it's funny to me because I never thought I'd be the person to give somebody advice, but here we are today. Here are some tips for the beginning photographers. Tip number one, the most easiest tip, honestly. If you want to turn off the video after hearing this tip, you could, because this is gonna set you up for whatever. Always look for a story. No matter what you're shooting, whether it be an outside shoot, with a subject, without a subject, you always want your picture to tell some type of story. You want the audience to feel something when they look at your work. The easiest way to tell a story through photography, look for certain elements, through the editing process, right? What does the picture say to you? Is it going for more of a black and white vibe? Then what is the subject telling you, right? Is the subject going through something? Is it an old subject? If it's old, is it giving a vintage vibe? You want to create a picture to where anybody could look at it and they could all take something different away from it. You know what I mean? You want to be able to connect with the audience and give them something to look at, so that way they feel some type of relatability to your work. Number two, research. If you really want to be a good photographer, it first starts off with knowing what a good picture looks like. The only way to know what a good picture looks like, it's different from, the regular Instagram poses with the, if you really want something that's going to stand out and really be a professional per se, there's a certain look that that you want for your pictures. The rule of thirds, making sure that your subject is in the middle of the photo, and if it's not in the middle of a photo, make it make sense for the subject to be in the lower part. I'm not really good at explaining the rule of thirds. I don't want to get too into it right now, you know what I mean, because that's gonna make this video way longer. And I just want to give you guys a few quick tips. But do the research. When I started out with photography, I didn't know anything. I in fact didn't even hold a camera until I was 18 years old. Research what type of camera that you want. It's not always about, the big fancy camera, you know what I mean, with the big fat lens. It's who's working the camera, the brain that's behind the camera. I heard this quote: the thinking that guides your knowledge is more important than how much knowledge that you have. The thinking that's behind the camera is way more important than the camera that you have. If you know how to work the camera, I guarantee you could be taking pictures side by side next to freaking David Hasselhoff, right? And he has this big foreign, camera that looks like, whatever. And you could just be out there with a point and shoot. And if you know how to work that point and shoot, I promise you, it'll go a long way. The third and final tip that I have for photographers is, no matter what, keep taking pictures. It gets hard, at first you don't know what you want to take a picture of. You want to take pictures of your friends and stuff, but you might not have friends who like being on camera. You might not be the most sociable of people, so it might be hard for you to reach out and look for people to take pictures of. It could be a challenge when with your creative abilities. Your creative abilities, creative abilities are just like emotions. I say that because just like all other emotions, right? They all come and they go, and they have this up and down wave to them, you know what I mean? And the only way to get through them is just to get through them. With your creativity, you're going to run into blocks, and it can suck really bad. The important part is to not beat yourself up. You don't want to start telling yourself, oh, I'm not as creative as I was. You are. Creativity isn't something that gets taught to you. Creativity isn't something that anybody could give you. That's why I love having a creative mindset so much, because creativity is just in you. It's in all of us. It's in all of us to be innovative in some way. Rely on the fact that your creative ability is different from anybody else's. With that, you just have to trust that your creativity is going to come to you and that everything is going to be all right, because it will be. Thank you guys for watching this video. I appreciate your time. If you have any more questions, just leave some comments down, comment box, and I'll get to them. Until then, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you. Peace.